Mike and Mike's Bags. Today I'm reviewing the Grim by Templar Cornhole. And this bag actually has the same two materials as Templar uses on their Freemason Duo bag that I reviewed a while back. They did tweak the fill, change the fill in this bag. I think they actually made the bag better with this new fill. I'll get into that here in a moment. But first, let's dive in. Let's talk about materials as always. And slow side, these materials are fairly unique. The Templar always uses unique materials. So I'm going to do my best to describe them to you. I don't know if I've seen them on any other bag outside of Templar that I know of. But slow side, this is a very soft material. It plays 5 to 6 speed, so it's great for running bags in the hole, very hole friendly, but it still has some control to it. I think Templar calls it a 5. We'll stick with the 5. I'm good with that. It's kind of like saying that 5 to 6 speed range on there. If I were to give you a comparison, it's very similar in the feel to like that Reynolds Typhoon slow side, but not quite as thick as that material, if that makes sense to you. So it has that softness to it. I love the way this material feels. It feels great in the hand. Like I said, it plays great. It feels like it should play slower. It feels like it should be stickier when it's not. It actually moves the board really well. Drips in the hole. It's a very hole friendly on there. So wonderful slow side here. 5 speed for this Grim. Fast side. This is a 9 speed fast side. It's great for pushing those blockers. So if you leave a level 2, level 3 blocker up there, you can push it all the way up, no problem whatsoever. It's great for blowing up piles, cleaning up messes, so forth like that. Very similar. If I were to compare this fast side, I think I would say it's probably similar to in feel and look to that Titan Dart fast side. Not the same. At Dart's a little bit slower. Maybe I think Dart's like an 8. Is 8-ish speed on the slow side. That this will be a 9, a little bit faster. But it's similar. It's a similar feel. Kind of reminds me of that material, and it's not quite the same. So hopefully that gives you an idea. The bag has a wonderful hand feel. I mean, it really does. It feels great in the hand. These two materials feel really, really nice. And this fast side really starts to soften up as you break it in. Kind of breaks down, softens up. Feels great. Template-wise, these Grims, it's a medium template bag. It's got a medium amount of fill in here, but maybe it's just on that thinner side of medium, because this bag does have a decent amount of flop to it, right? And these bags are not fully broken. They can break it a little more, but this bag has a decent amount of flop, which gives the bag a ton of forgiveness. This bag is really, really forgiving in the landing, which means if you don't throw a super flat bag, it doesn't have a punishing kick, it doesn't bounce, doesn't move a lot. It's also very forgiving around the hole. That flop gives it that forgiveness where it does a great job of dipping in and grabbing the lip of the hole and pulling that bag back in. I talk about that landing zone and where you got to, that rectangular box, you land your bag in to put the bag in the hole. And when you get these floppier bags, you can go a little bit wider with that because you just need a little corner there, right? A fuller bag, it sticks out, it doesn't dip. The floppier bags, they dip down and grab a lot quicker, so you don't need a fuller bag, you get more of that bag in the hole. A floppier bag just takes a little bit. That's why you get a little bit wider landing zone, bigger landing zone there. So I love the forgiveness of these Grims here. They also talk about the corners as well. Maybe I'm jumping ahead a little bit, but this bag I talked about this with the Nightfire bag that I reviewed at Templar not too long ago, and that's the corners. These corners are smaller corners, less rounded. They're almost not quite square, but close to a square. And what that does, having more corners sticking out, it also helps with that bag grabbing the hole because you've got more material. Where if this corner was more rounded, there'd be less corner there to grab, right? If that makes sense. So there's more corners sticking out to grab, so it does a little bit better job, just a slight better job of grabbing the hole, pulling the bag back in. It also helps with collectability. If you do throw a blocker, those corners kind of hook. They grab, and so it's when you have square corners, they want to hook each other and they grab and pulls that bag back in. When you get round corners, they want to kind of push bags out of the way. So the rounder corners are great for pushing bags, bullying bags, getting around bags. The more square corners are great for hooking the bags and pulling them in. So it does a great job of grabbing that corner and dragging that bag in with it, if that makes sense on there. The fill in here, I don't know if I talked about this, the fill in here is that DT2, or it's mostly the DT2 fill that I talked about, which is, it's a unique fill. As far as I know, Templar's the only one that uses that. And the best way, I try to describe it every time, and I do a horrible job, but I was thinking, like, if you take if you know what that flat disc fill looks like, and you almost put like a little bitty straw in the middle, and you blow and you puff up the middle of it, kind of, so it's not flat, it's kind of rounded, but it's not a perfectly round, it's kind of got a flat midsection to it, but rounded on the top. It's almost like a hybrid disc bead put together, so you kind of get the best of both worlds, right? You get a little bit of that forgiveness with the flat landing, not as bouncy, not as active as you would get with an all bead fill, but you get that hole friendliness, that drippiness around the hole, which you get with the bead fill. So it really kind of combines both those fills into one there. Now this one has, and I hope I got the number right. I think it's 90% of that DT2 fill mixed with 10% of a disc fill in there. So it's a little bit more disc, which gives the bag a little more forgiveness, which again adds that softness in the landing, so it doesn't punish you with a huge kick. So if you don't throw flat, you can get by throwing these Grims. These Grims are ACO stamps, so you're playing the ACO, you can throw these. Let's jump in and start talking more about the playability of these bags. And In my mind, this is a bag I'm pulling out when I want to run bags in the hole. I think it just shines really well with hole running. Putting your 4 bags in, getting 12 points, outscoring your opponent. Phenomenal job of that. You do, as I mentioned, you do have some control with slow side. So if you want to throw blockers, you can put blockers up there. Or maybe you're running bags and you start getting behind. You need to manufacture some points. And as I mentioned, these bags are great at collecting because of those more squared off corners, those smaller corners. Great for collecting. So you can get that if you want to throw a blocker. Get more aggressive, put that block a little more on your opponent's side, knowing that when you come down, you're just catching that corner, hooking that corner, and dragging those bags in. As I mentioned, both materials are very hole friendly. So once you get that bag up just near the hole, get it started, it'll drip in. Hole friendly fill, hole friendly materials. Once you get started, it's going to drip in, no problem whatsoever. So get these near the hole, they're going to go in. You do have the ability for this little side for some cuts, so shot shaping. I mean, if you're kind of above average to advanced, the cuts, rolls, flops, you can definitely do that. If you're average to below average, maybe you're just starting out as well. Maybe not the easiest bag because I think the flop and the forgiveness make it a little tougher to get these bags to move like you would. But if you got the skill set, if you know how to get the orientation of the bag, the tilts on the bags, the back load, the front load, you can do that with this bag, no problem whatsoever. So the shot shape is there. I don't think this is a bag really, in my mind, that's designed for that great shot shaping. Like it's not a bag designed to throw blockers up there all the time and you're cutting, rolling, and flopping around it. But you do have that option if you need to. As I mentioned, this bag is better suited for hole running. And if I pull this bag out, I'm running bags in the hole. If I get an opponent who's throwing dirty style, throwing blockers up there, I'll leave their blocker. And I like to step out with a bag like this because of the flop and the forgiveness. Step out and try to sneak around their bag and grab the hole and put it in, or kind of bump into, bully their bag out of the way, take hole control, and then put my bag in. So I like to really kind of play more of that get around style with the bag like this, as opposed to trying to cut or roll or flop. But you do have that option. You know, again, if you have the skill set, you can cut, roll, flop any bag out there. The one thing about this DT2 fill they have in here, I love it because when you grab it, it still feels like a smooth, fluid disc feel. So you get that nice, compact, compressed hand feel of a disc fill, but you're not sacrificing by giving up beads, right? You still have the playability of the beads in there as well. So I love the way these bags feel. These bags feel great, and if hand feels important to you, I think you're going to love these Grims. And there's enough fill here that even though they have flop, when I grab them, I can lock them down. I've got this bag completely locked down. It's not moving on me whatsoever, so I have complete control when I throw it. It's not flopping and moving. It's not shifting. I can lock it completely down, so I can control the orientation and have confidence when I throw it. The bag's going to go where I want it to or come out the way I want it to. So all in all, love the way these Grims feel. I love the way the Grims play. I think this is a bag that's going to fit a lot of your play styles. It's a great bag to put in your arsenal. And to me, if you like the Nightfire that I reviewed recently, or you have some of those, this is a great bag to complement that in the fact that it's a step up in speeds. So Nightfire is more of a control bag, a little bit of a slower bag, and then you throw these Grims in here and you get a step up in speeds and get more of a hole run bag. So I think they really pair well together. They have a similar feel to them. I think they play very similar, just with the speed step up or step down, which way you go. So definitely a great complementary bag to that Nightfire. It leads me to availability here on these. Templar has a website, TemplarCornhole.com. As always, I'll put a link down in the description for you guys. These bags are $68 for a set. It was $12 shipping, $80 shipped to you. If I want a price for an ACO stamp bag, so you play in the ACO and you've been looking for some different bags to throw, definitely check out Templar and check out the Grim. I think you're going to love these. If you've thrown these, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Drop a comment down below. Let me know what you think. Let me know. I always love hearing you guys' opinions. So drop your comments. Let me know what you think about these bags if you've thrown them and what you would compare them to. Again, Templar's a little tough enough for me to review because their materials are so different. Their feel so different. It's hard for me to really explain or describe it to you. And that's not different in a bad way. I love the uniqueness of their bags. It's refreshing to get bags that aren't the same materials, that aren't the same feel. That when I get them, I don't know how they're going to play. Right? I pull them out. I look at them and go, I don't know what this material is going to do. I don't know how it's going to play. So it's really exciting for me to get out and throw them and get a feel for the bag and learn the bag. So different in a great way. If you like different, or if you want to try something different, check out Templar Cornhole. If the Grim isn't what you're looking for, I've got a whole playlist of videos from Templar reviews I've done there. Check those out. You might find something there you like. As always, I thank you guys so much for your support, and I thank you for watching.